Welcome back, friends, to the shop. The moment we've all been waiting for on this very chilly Monday morning. We got the part for the sawmill. Inside this little box is our aftermarket high-pressure fuel pump that we're going to be putting on today, hopefully get that running. So in today's video, not only are we going to do that, but we're also going to take a look at the truck. I've done a lot of modifications for it to get it set up to make it more suitable to haul a big camper. So I've got half of that stuff done. We're actually going to put the camper on today and see how the new airbags stack up, as well as we're going to revisit the top-down fire building method that we've had in the wood stove that I've been using now every day for a month, and I'll give you my impression upon that. So let's go get some firewood, get the fire stoked up, and then we'll get to work on this fuel pump. Gotta go get some firewood. Thank you. How about some big ones? How about bigger ones?
No, I don't need bigger ones.
I need some big ones. Regarding the top-down fire method, now I've been using it, as I said, for about a month or so, and I'm definitely convinced that it's the best way to start a fire. It gives you, you don't have to worry about it near as often, and it gives you a better quality fire, especially you know, towards the end of the day. It gives you a massively excellent coal bed. Still coals in there. Man, this has been a good stove. I'll tell you, when I first started using this stove, this is a Hearthstone Green Mountain 80. Start by putting your biggest stuff in first. Man, I wasn't digging it. I was thinking that I'd made a mistake in the stove because I didn't understand what it liked, how to make it run properly. And you've got to do things in a certain way. You know, the older stoves are a little bit more forgiving. You could throw cardboard and junk in there and basically just a big trash burner, right? But these guys are not that way with the catalytic. So now once you build your fire this way and you feed it and you prep it the way it likes to be treated, then man, it's an awesome fire. It holds all night, gives you good even heat through the day. You just don't have to fool with it. It doesn't burn that much wood, actually. Also on the kindling cracker, it's excellent. I will never go back to splitting firewood another way. I told you guys I was gonna mount this, I don't know if my head's in frame. I was gonna mount this on a round. Jariah overheard that and said, don't you dare mount that on a round. He takes it with him whenever he wants to cut kindling, you know, for the house, or sometimes he helps cutting down by the tent. So it will not be mounted because it's just too handy of a thing. Now we can put our little guys on there. Small, medium, large from the top down. Big ones on the bottom.
Production kind of wound down on those aircraft. The factory wanted to keep busy building something, so they attempted to get a hold of the Piper Super Cub.
All right, friends, let's go grab that power head, and then we'll bring it in and work by the fire. Let's see if they sent us the right part. Now, as you may have remembered, we went aftermarket because it was half the price of the OE, and you always run a bit of a risk when you do that. But apart from the Kohler name on there, everything looks the same, including the electrical plug. Let's get the battery charger going so we have plenty of juice when we try to start it up here. 12 volt AGM, 20 amp, and charge. All right, I think we should start. Let's plug this guy in. This is an electric fuel pump. Hopefully the plugs match up here. And see if it turns on. Ooh, good sign, the plugs, the plugs match. All right, so if we turn the key on, we should hear something. Yep, did you hear it? That's what we didn't have last time. I've got both fuel lines connected, the plug and the breather. Whenever you mount anything to a car or motorcycle, anything that vibrates or shakes, 3 points of contact typically. 2 is almost never enough. When you look at factory stuff, it's always, unless it's something small, it's usually mounted in at least 3 spots. That's good to see. Now this piece over here to the right looks like an oil cooler of some sort. Okay, if we turn on that key, hear the fuel pump. Well, that's not promising. Battery's dead. It will not start. I can hear the fuel pump coming on. If I pour a little gas down the the intake, it will run. So there is sparks. The engine is running, but something's not working. I don't know. Maybe if you guys know what the next obvious thing is to check, I'm kind of at a loss here. I don't know. Could it be 2 things? Well, I don't know. We'll have to let the battery recharge and come back and look at this and go through everything again. Let's head out. Let me show you what I did to the truck in anticipation of the camper, and then we'll set the camper on and see how well those new airbags do in keeping the ride level. So let's head on out there and we'll grab a tape measure and see what type of sag we get on that rear axle. All right, to get the camper ready, or the truck ready for the camper, I've done 7 things. First off was a rubber bed liner, just so, place for it to sit down. I mean, it's going to be a lot less slippery, right, having rubber on there than metal. I mean, imagine running and trying to slide on a painted surface versus a rubber mat, right? So it has its own friction there. Also, I put airbags on in a huge sway bar. We'll go underneath there and show you that. This, even though this was a camper, well, the Ford used to call it a camper special back in the day, the F-Series pickups had a little plaque on the front. I remember that, it was red. My granddad had one. Now what that means nowadays is they give you a rear sway bar and a little bit heavier springs up front, but the sway bar is minuscule. I mean, it's about the size of your pinky finger. It's pretty much useless. The one we put under here is way, way bigger in chromoly steel, so I'll show you that. And then a trussed hitch, because the camper sticks out the back and we need to be able to extend that 3 feet. So this is a hitch that you don't lose your payload with. And the tie downs. So let's go underneath and I'll show you the airbags and the sway bar. Hopefully you can see that there. I got so much glare on the screen there, but that's the sway bar. That's a big boy right there. That's a great big sway bar that will take a lot of that body roll out. Makes a huge, huge difference. The factory one was so anemic, it wasn't even hardly worth even putting on there. And there you can see the airbags. Now, this is the third time I've put airbags on a vehicle. What they do is they just keep you, prevent any sag. You can adjust it, put 100 pounds in there when you have the camper on. And then when you aren't running the camper, you can take that air out so you're not fighting, a massive spring pack. So that's kind of a nice deal. So I'll show you where we ran the lines because that's a little bit different. Usually I've brought them out to the back out here with 2 Schrader valves, and they get all dirty and messed up, and it's not really the cleanest way to do it. We found a better way this time. And that better way was putting them inside the fuel door. I forgot one of my caps there. Right there. So this would, in a diesel, this would be your def tank, and there's just a perfect spot for that. That keeps them clean and kind of out of the way. I also put torque lift tie downs here. So these are tie downs for the campers that these can be removed. And if you look at those are really good. They bolt up tight to the frame. Very, very strong. Same in the back. We've got one we can remove these when not in use, and they're kind of out of the way. And then the baddest hitch I've ever seen, the Super Truss, or the Super Truss and the Torque Lift 30K Magnum. I think that this is about the biggest, baddest trailer hitch that a guy can get. And of course it incorporates those trusses for the camper, and it gives you the ability to lock everything up there. So I've been working on these adjustable hitches here, and I keep getting the wrong one. I got 2 problems. This is 2.5 inch here, and then it reduces down to 2 inch here, and so I keep getting the wrong one, so I need to get those sorted out. But ultimately I'll go with that so we can adjust the ride height. That's pretty bright out here. And then finally, the last thing is the air compressor. Well, of course, we made up the wiring harness here, since this is pre-plugged for a 5th wheel, and that this is where we how we plug in the camper. That way I've got 2 plugs, and I've got one for the trailer if we wanted to run a boat or a snowmobile, snow bike trailer, and the camper at the same time. Let me show you the compressor mount. Goodness, the sun is murder. Keeping exposure, it goes in and out of the clouds. Did I mention this truck has dual alternators? I don't know if I mentioned that or not. So here's the ARB compressor right there. So we just custom built a little plate right there. Very neat and clean. It looks very factory. This is just a single. I was going to go with the double, but they're on national back order and you can't get them. So I just went with a single right there. It's not hooked up yet. That's going to happen this week. But I'm not running any airlines or anything crazy. I don't like all of that. They always seem to leak and be a big hassle and a problem getting torn out. I like to keep things simple. So we'll put the switch right here. The factory ARB switch will go right there, and then this will rotate around, and then the little nipple for the quick attach for the air hose will go right there, and nice and simple. Off and on, connect your air hose, and you are done. Clean and easy. So we could lower it a little bit.
I was going to lower just the left-hand side.
Okay, so Jariah and I have everything ready to go. It's sitting on the jacks. There's no weight on the truck yet. We were going to see how well these airbags keep it leveled. Now the only other thing, so these don't ride flat from the factory. They're kind of, Fords and Toyotas are very similar in that way, that they have kind of that bird dog thing going on where it's lower in the front. So what we're going to be doing is, in addition to this, is we're going to be putting a 2-inch leveling kit on the front, which is going to consist of king coilovers with remote resis. And that will give us a 2-spring suspension that will greatly improve it over the factory one, which I think is no more than 1 inch, which is pretty weak. Okay, so right now, unloaded with 100 PSI in the airbags, we are at 44 exactly to the bottom of the well. You want to drop that down until the jacks are hanging, and we'll see. 44. This is our center of gravity right here, which is we want to be in front of the rear wheel.
All right, we're all on.
Okay, so we're at 41 3/4. So that's 2 1/4 a drop. Is that right? Math on camera. You want to go there?
Yep.
All right, take it up one more time, Jiraiya, and then down once again, just like you did. So now, we're gonna have to, I think we're gonna put more spring in it. One more leaf in there.
In the rear too.
In just the rear, yeah.
And that's going to change your trailer pitch point too.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you, Jiraiya. Okay, so here's what I think we need to do, guys. So as it sits right now without the camper on it, of course it's 2.5, it's about 2 inches taller in the back than it is in the front. With the camper on there, that essentially levels it out perfectly, right? Problem that's going to cause is that when we put the leveling kit on this, when I bring that front end up 2 inches, we're going to be going the wrong direction, right? So I'm going to have to, I'll have to look into this, but I think we might have to add another spring. Now I got the airbags with their maximum pressure, which is 100 PSI, and even with that, there's still that 2 1/4 inches of sag on the back. I want this to ride level, and when we put the camper on, I'd like it to basically to sit in its normal configuration. We'll just have to get the spring rate figured out for that to make that happen. But as it sits now, without the front leveling kit, I mean, we're basically pretty ideal. I mean, maybe the argument could be made to leave it like this. I've got to look into this. If you're a suspension or a spring expert, let me know in the comments what you think might be the best route to go with this. I don't think we're too far away. I think it'd be pretty close, but that's it. All right, I'm going to go back, see if I can't get on that sawmill power head. I'm at a loss. I don't know what the problem could be apart from the fuel pump, but I'll dig around one more time, check all the connections. But let me know if you have any ideas of what might get that thing going. Thanks for watching. May God bless you guys. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you on the next video.